morning and welcome to the Big Bear Yarns podcast. I'm Anna, the dyer behind Big Bear Yarns. I live in Essex in the UK with my sister, my 2 dogs and my cat. I'll leave a link in the description down below where you can find me on Instagram and my shop. This is my podcast. It's episode 12 of my podcast, where I'll talk about anything I've been knitting or crocheting or anything like that. So I'll just get started. If you watched last week's episode, you'll know that I was in Ireland most of last week, so I didn't have many of my, I keep trying to lean because the chair I thought was closer, but it's all over here, so let's just stop that. So yeah, I didn't have much with me to work on, so I haven't got any finished items. I almost had a finished item, and if I had woven in the ends of this sock, then I would have a finished item, but I didn't. Partly because I finished knitting them on Saturday. I did the toe, and then I wove in the ends on Saturday on this one, which was the last day of May, and then I didn't end up weaving so many ends, and then I didn't get around to weaving in these ends on Saturday, and I thought, oh well, it will still, this will count now anyway to June's number, so I'm not gonna be fast. There's so many ends on these socks. Let me show you. They're lucky they're so pretty because the number of ends is a lot. I think I worked out there's like 26 ends per sock. So I'll sit down and probably finish these off today, and they'll be in next week's episode. Spoiler, they'll be in next week's episode as a finished item. But I've knit both of the socks. They just haven't, they're so pretty. I really like them. Oh yeah, sorry. Just assuming people will know. These are knit on 2.5mm DPNs. So I was just reading an email alert. Pay attention, concentrate, on topic. 2.5mm DPNs, 64 stitches. I did a 2x2 twisted rib, 20 rounds. I pretty much always do 20 rounds for the cuff. I did 2 rounds in the pink, which is Pink Skies. Then I did the other 18 in Rose Tea. I won't go into too much detail because I'll show these next. Well, no, I'll go into detail now. I won't go into detail next week. That's what I'll do because I haven't got as much to show this week. So, yeah. Then I did 5 rounds of each of the colours. This one is Aphrodite's Blush, and then Rose Tea in my merino sock. These are all merino socks, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. Then I did the rest of the leg. I can't remember how much it was. It looks like 30 rounds. So I did 30 rounds, I think. I don't know. Maybe 20? I don't know. I can't remember. I've taken out the stitch markers. And then I did another 10 with the 5 of each. And I did the heel flap, which is a slip stitch heel. Another 5 rounds of the 2 colours, then until the last 10 rounds where I did that, and then that. I'd hoped that by doing so much in the Rose Tea that I would have used up enough that this could now go into my granny blanket, but no. There's still about 14 grams of the Rose Tea left, and there's still about 13 of each of these colours left, so they're back into the scrap bowl over there. So that's that. I've actually, because I can only bring, I'll get to that in a minute. Can you tell it's been a while since I've done this? Okay. These are for me, I think. I haven't done myself a pair of like patterned socks in a while, I don't think. Maybe, no, I don't think I've done like some scrappy ones, but no, I haven't done like a patterned one in quite a while. I decided to pop in a contrast heel because I didn't want to break up the stripes too much. I think that's worked out pretty well. And I am going to do the toe, which is what I'm on. This sock's basically finished, it's just onto the toe. I'm going to do the toe in the yarn because I've already got to the beginning of the repeat at the end of the sock. So I might as well just do the toe and then wind off as much as I need to get back to the beginning of the repeat. I know I could have finished the sock earlier, like I cut the yarn earlier and done a bit more of the, another last bit of the foot with the contrast colour. But for some reason I don't like to do that. I don't know why. I don't like, unless I'm running out of yarn, to switch out earlier. I'm not sure, but I don't. So anyway, this is what it looks like in the cake. Actually, surprisingly neat cake, which is a Stylecraft. I like the Stylecraft. I haven't knit with that much of the, I like Stylecraft yarn in general. Their acrylic is my favourite of the acrylics. This is Head Over Heels Walking in Nature. It's designed by Stuart Hillard. And it's shade 3117. 3117. I said that very oddly. There we go. Dilly Dally. I don't know if that's gonna focus. Dilly Dally. It will be linked anyway down below. But there's not much point linking it because it is discontinued. You might be able to get it somewhere, so I'll pop the information down there anyway. Yeah, so that's there for me. Yeah, I think they're very pretty though. So that's onto the toe. Then, oh yeah, then these are ones I hadn't started in the last episode, but I did show you the yarn. Let me just have a sip of my water. My throat is very dry. So these are ones you saw only the yarn of last time. And I was curious how much I could get done on a pair of socks when I was just working on the one sock, and thinking, oh, I probably don't have that much time to really concentrate on it because I'm going to be out and about doing things while I was on holiday. And any guesses how much I got done? I cast these on Saturday evening. Yeah, I cast these on, yes, I cast these on a Saturday evening, late in the evening. We didn't get to our uncle's house until, I don't know, 10 o'clock, I think it was late. And it was late in the evening when we got there, because our flight was delayed and things. Yeah, I cast these on late in the evening and then we went out to the pub and I did a bit of knitting on them. So I did a whole sock. I cast off, I did the toe and cast off on Tuesday, I think it was. full disclosure, if you're not aware, this is my own yarn, so bear that in mind when I say how much I like this colour. Not 100%, not unbiased, because I did make it, but I love it. Look at those colours. Try not to blow it out, but my ghostly white arm is changing the lighting entirely. This is why I try to wear sleeves, because this ghostly pale skin, because my face is fine because I can add some colour to that, I can put blush on and things, so that's not so bad, but the rest of me, anyway. See, this is what I mean when I try and find like a shade that actually matches. Like, I take it down my neck, because otherwise, no, I'm going off track. We're talking about sock. Yeah, this is Jenny of Oldstones, which in the cake looks like this. Oh, I just love it. Yeah, that's in the cake. This is it in the skein. And so I did a whole sock, and I started the cuff of the other one. These needles as well, I didn't need any more sock knitting needles, but as I said last week, Stansted don't allow you to fly with knitting needles in your hand luggage. So I ordered these on Amazon, which I don't like to do. I'm trying not to buy from Amazon, but they were going to be delivered in time for him to take them to Ireland, so I got them delivered to him, and he took them in his carry-on, which would have been fine, his checked luggage. Although Gatwick, where he was flying from, do allow you to take knitting needles in your carry-on. So yeah, I couldn't cast these on until we got to his uncle's house, because they were in his suitcase. But yeah, I don't know why I was so surprised, because when you think about it, so far this year, I have done every month of this year so far, I have completed 5 pairs of socks, which means I average just over a pair of socks a week. So why would I be so astonished that when I had just one thing to knit on, I knit a whole sock in a few days? I don't know why, but I was astonished. Look how pretty it is. Once these are done, I'm going to look forward to taking some photographs of these. These are for me, I think. Can't remember now. Yeah, 70 rounds, so they're for me. I also took, because Stansted seemed so funny about taking certain things through, I didn't want to take any of my normal light bulb stitch markers. I wasn't sure if they'd be a problem, and I thought, I don't want them to be confiscated, and then also have to try and find something to use as stitch markers. So I just took these guys, which are just like little pieces of, they're like stitch markers that I've made, but they're just pieces of like jewellery, so they won't give me any problems. Yeah, so quite proud of myself, did quite a lot of knitting. To me, and like my sister who sees me knitting all the time, knitting is just, oh gosh, my hair is getting all stuck to my face. Better. Yeah, to me and my sister, me knitting is just completely normal. I do it all the time. But then when you go out and about and you're doing it like in the wild, and you see people and people's reactions to it, it's quite funny, really. I suppose because to some people it's not like something they see every day. Like, they're always like, oh, I'm knitting with 4 needles, and I say no, it's actually 5. Mind's blown. Yeah. Oh, actually my knitting, because it said that me leaning again like a weirdo. Shannon Airport, where we were flying from in Ireland, in the west coast of Ireland in Kerry, it says on their website that they allow you to take, sorry, I was just distracted by a super cute wood pigeon just flying along with a little branch in his beak. Allow you to take knitting needles through in your carry-on luggage. And I'm getting distracted by a tiny spider. No. And now I'm realising, sorry, one of my own hairs stuck to my lip. And now I'm realising I've been looking at the wrong spot. This is where we look at the camera. So I took the knitting needles back with me, and my bag was flagged, so he had to undo it to have a look at what I was trying to sneak through the airport. And he was digging through my rucksack where my bag was and pulled out my project bag, and I thought, oh, it's the knitting needles, because you know when you're going through an airport you always have a thing of like, oh my gosh, what did I pack? Did I accidentally pack something I shouldn't have? Like, did I accidentally bring something I definitely, like, that was definitely problematic through, even though you know you didn't because you packed your own bag. So he pulled it out, took one look in at the nightmare that was my project bag with all my tiny little ball cakes of yarn for the granny cardigan and the knitting needles, and just shut it back up and put it all back through. And then my carry-on suitcase was also flagged, so he had to open that up a bit and, I don't know, do like sprayed something or did something like that with it. And then I think he sort of took a look at, he was like, open it further, and then he realised that it was going to be a situation of someone's going to have to sit on that to shut it. So I think he just sort of thought, oh, maybe the crazy lady with the knitting is just safe crazy, and let's try and do that. So that was fun. But I was allowed to keep them, so I was scared he was going to make me, he was going to say, because, you know, because the thing about, like, security people at airports is they have the power. If they say you can't bring something on the flight, you're not bringing it on the flight, so that would be the end of that. Next one. Well, these aren't socks, but they are what I've been working on, so I'll just show these next. I say I've been working on because I intended to do loads of crocheting on the flight, but the flight from Stansted to Shannon Airport is about just over an hour. So by the time you're up in the air and like able to sort of relax a bit, you've only got about like half an hour or so until you're starting to descend again. And I'm a bit of an anxious flyer. Surprises. I'm quite I'm not terrible, but I am a bit anxious about flying. Like, don't like it. So I managed to do, I don't know which one it is. Oh, actually I will know which one it is. It's not this one. I believe it's not this one, so it has to be this one. Yeah. So I did one granny square, which I couldn't even finish on the flight because I ran out of yarn. I got to here. I got to here on my final round, and I had this many stitches to go, and I ran out of yarn, which I'm going to have to be careful. I think I might need to do, when I do my next colours, do slightly shorter tails, because I just need it to be long enough to weave in. Like this one's far too long. If I had if I'd done the tail like this long, and when you add all those bits up on all of these, like this one's probably not too bad. Like this one, for example, again, that could be shorter. You could do that down to like here. And I suppose all those things just put together to give you that tiny bit of extra yarn you needed to finish it. Luckily, I had some of a full skein that I'm using to do my cardigan. My Court of Thorns and Roses like fluffy cardigan, which I haven't done any work on recently. So I could finish that off. So I'm going to have to be careful when I do my next squares. I'm hoping by next week, I intend, probably won't happen, to do at least 3 of the colours, so that'll be 9 more, like 9 squares I'll be able to add. I'm not sure, I'm just taking out colours at random. I'm not sure which colours, I'll just reach in and grab one. Yeah, and I'll probably cake up the full skeins in the other bag to start doing some of the plain colour squares. Yeah, so that's what I've done. That's on the 2 point. I'll show you, give you more information of that when I've done a bit more, but I've done 1 square, which is progress. Slow progress is still progress. Have to remind myself of that, because sometimes I get too, you're too hard on yourself. And so the other sock I have made progress on. I think quite a bit of progress, because I think when I showed this to you last week, there wasn't that much progress on it. Would have done it on, I don't know, we'll see. I can't remember. you tell me. So this is my Zinnia sock set. I'll show you the skeins. So this is my own yarn. You get 50g peach and orange. You get 20g purple and peach. And then you get 20g green. So you get 90 grams in total for that. These are a limited, they're not limited edition, they're not 100% repeatable, because I didn't write it down. Like I can work out and make similar ones again, but these ones were designed to be kind of like a one-shot. You get they'll be this colour exactly this one time. So I have only a few of these left in the shop, and once these ones are gone, they won't be this colour again. Because I dye these like most of my mini skein sets and sock sets like that, I just dye them based on vibes. So I'll just have like an idea in my head, I'll go out and I'll just mix up some of the dyes, do it as like I feel is going to look good, and dye all the ones I'm going to do together so it's done, and I don't write anything down, and they are where they are, and they can't be made again. So saying that, this is how it's knitting up. I did obviously 2.5mm needles. These are the Addy Premium. These are 10 centimeters. I actually did find the packaging for these needles. Let me go and grab that. I'll be 1 second. Well, maybe 3 seconds. Oh, sorry. So I think I bumped you all around. Because I've been saying it for ages, haven't I, about what these needles are, and I can't quite remember, and very unprofessional. Unprofessional. Silly. Okay, they are Addy. They are 2.5mm, 10 centimeters. Oh, just my sunspot. Premium. Yeah, that was right. 5. And these are the ones I ordered a pack from my yarn wholesaler. I ordered a wholesale pack of them to try out to stock in my shop, and I used them all. Too much trying out, not enough stocking in my shop, but there we are. The only thing about the 10 centimeter ones is you do need, for the knitting, for just the foot, the cuff, the leg, the toe, they're fine, you can just use them like double points. But when you do get to, I'll say Vandy, I don't. But when you get to the heel flap and you get to so when you have more than 16 stitches on the needle, you're going to want a needle stopper. Just 2. You want one on the 2 needles that have the extra stitches. And they work perfectly like that. They actually have really helped with the nerve pain. I'll get down my finger. I haven't had, touch wood, nerve pain in quite a while. So back to the socks. I did 20 rounds of the cuff. No, I was right the first way, it just sounded odd. Because I didn't do 20 rounds of the cuff, I did 20 rounds cuff. Why does that sound so weird? Because I didn't do any other rounds of the cuff in anything else. I'm going to rephrase that entire sentence because my mind is just... I did a 20 round cuff, there we go, in the purple and peach. Then I did 20 rounds in the main colour, which is this peach and pink. Then I did 10 rounds of this this pattern. So this is with the purple and the peach. And it's a 2 round repeat where you knit 2 in the main colour, purl 2 in the purple, knit 2 all the way around. Oh no, it's not actually, it's a 4 row repeat. Sorry, it's just something I did on the spot. I haven't really thought about it since. Then you do the next round, round 2, you do in the main colour, just knit. Then the third round you would do purl 2 in the contrast colour, knit 2, so it's the opposite way round, so it's like a kind of, what do they call it, a moss stitch, kind of like that. Then I did 5 rounds of the purple, 5 rounds of the green, then I repeated the same thing I did above, and then I've just done 10 rounds of the main colour, and I'm going to do the heel in the green. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do another pattern bit. I'm not going to do texture just because I think that might be a bit bumpy to stand on as like a sensory thing. It's bumpy, so in the leg I think that's fine, but if I do any sort of pattern on the bottom, it might be the same thing, like pattern wise, but I'm going to do it just knitting. I'm not going to purl the colour bumps, I think. So I'm going to do the heel for that. Look at me, so I've got like done nothing. I'm already half an hour in. Making myself into a liar. So I did, super tangled. So I've done some work. These are my Addy, no, not Addy at all, they're Knit Pro Symphony. They're wooden needles, 2.5mm. I've finished the leg and done the heel flap. Again, I decided to add a contrast heel because I didn't want to break up the colour. I couldn't work out. This is a super long colour repeat, I feel, because I don't even think... Yeah, I think I've still got like all of these pinks to go through before I get back to like the yellowy and the purple. Like there's loads to go. So I just felt that I didn't want to be in a situation where I'm going to wind stuff off too often. I couldn't work out how long the repeat was going to be and that, so I did in I think it's vanilla cream. I think that's the colour this is. This is a paint box. Like I said, paint box, last time I checked, I'll check again when I do the, oh, hair in my eye, my own hair. They don't seem to have any of the solids, but I'll check again. This is vanilla cream. There's no point giving you the colour number, I'll give it to you anyway. 1407 vanilla cream. Because, like I said, they don't have it. I haven't actually even caked it up yet. I'll do that in a bit because I just grabbed it when I was about to do the heel. I was going through all my scraps to find a solid in like a sort of rustic one, because I didn't want to do the heel flap in one of like the merino ones, because even if I had a solid in it, because I don't know, it just feels like the heel flap, it gets a lot of pressure, so doing it in something that's less sturdy than the rest of the sock will probably be problematic. So I did it in this, which is a nice yarn. I do like the paint box. It's rustic, but it's slightly less rustic than, it's less rustic than West Yorkshire Spinner, but it's more rustic than the Stylecraft. I'll cake this up later, and I'm not going to do the toe, I don't think, depending on where I end in the repeat. But I don't know when this repeat is going to end, because I don't see an end in sight, because this all seems to be, oh, there's a yellow right there, so yeah, there's like quite a bit to go before I get there, but we'll see. So I made progress on that. I've made all this progress as well just since Thursday when I came back. Quite proud of myself. I don't think I've made progress on the next two things. Let me have a look though. Oh, no, I did. I made progress on this morning. These are for me. They're stripy. They have a massive jog. That's part of why I don't think I'm going to gift them, because there is a significant jog. On the other side, no jog. And maybe it'll slightly block out and it'll be fine. But this bit where you switch the needles between needles 3 and 4, that always just blocks out. Yeah, just going to do the rest of the sock in the main colour. For me, so I've got 70 rounds it will be, so I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, so I've got about 20, just over 20 rounds to go before I can do the toe. They're my own colours. This one is a blue from one of my Christmas sock sets, and this is a discontinued colour, which was Wildflower. Wildflower is actually now a different colour. They're so different, they're quite obviously not the same thing. And this one, I don't think I've done anything on. Hold on, DT Pie, baby, Bubba, don't do it. Nibbling herself. Maybe I have done some. I'll show you anyway, I can't remember where I got to. So, I've done, the cuff 20 rounds in Little Big Craft merino cashmere nylon. Then this is the Woolyback, which is a BFL nylon sock one. This is my own yarn, Lavender Lemonade, and it's back. And then that's my own yarn, which is mini for one of my Christmas sets, and back to the Woolyback. See it better that side. Oh yeah, my pale ghostly arm is blowing it all out again. So I'll link those all down below. I think I did mention that the Woolyback yarn dyer, I think they're in Wales, but they don't seem to have any yarn in their shop currently, but maybe they will again, because it's really beautiful yarn. And I don't know if I've done anything on this. Maybe I have. Sock number 1 done. I don't think I even told you guys what the pink soft patterning sock yarn was, did I? Probably not. I'll do this one and then I'll show you. Heel flap done, gusset decrease is done, so it's just onto the knitting. This is Cascade Heritage. Cascade Heritage prints, colour 128, 128. Probably do, isn't it? I don't know if it even works. Probably works on a camera, not on my phone. So yeah, there's those two. I don't know if that's the same as it was last time. So this one, which I didn't show you, I did show you the heel colour, is Stylecraft Head Over Heels All Stars in the colour Saltaire, which is shade 3917. Okay. So that is everything I've worked on this last week. Sorry, distracted again. A sip of water and then I'll okay. So come into the shop. Let's see, I'm recording this on Monday. It will go live on, not live because not a live, it will be available on YouTube at 6 AM Tuesday British summertime, and then these yarns will be in the shop on Wednesday, or no, I'm going to put them in the shop tomorrow, so they will be available when you watch this. So I have dyed up some new mini skein sets. You get 6 20-gram minis and they're very pretty. I dyed them, but they are super pretty. Let me show you. So these are pressed flowers, and like I said, with all my mini skeins, I just mixed up the colours for the speckles, didn't measure anything, just like whacked them in the jar, added the citric acid and dyed them. So I've got some of the dye mixed up left, so I could, if I sell a lot of these, I could dye up some with what I've got left, but after that they won't be the same. So you get this, they all have this orangey brown in all of them, so you get this purple, you get brown and green, you get mauve and brown, you get peach, oh that's what I have, you get peach and brown, which the brown on this one broke into this gorgeous orangey colour, which just goes so perfectly with the peach. Then you get pink and brown, which again the brown here broke into like a lovely bluey shade, which again, perfect with the pink and the brown. And the final colour is gold, golden yellow and the brown. So this is Pressed Flowers. So you have three of the colours are more vibrant and 3 of the colours are more neutral. So you got the vibrant ones and the 3 neutrals. So yeah, 120 grams. I have 5 sets in the shop at the moment. Like I said, they are pretty much one of a kind. They'll be in the shop. I'll schedule them to go up into the shop tomorrow morning. So they will be available when you're watching this. And that's everything really for the shop at the moment. I will be dyeing some yarn this week, I think. I'm going to be doing a restock of High Tea, which is sorry, Odin's just crying in the hallway, sleeping, not like crying, but I don't know if you can hear it, it's very quiet, but he sounds like a cartoon dog when he does it. They were very upset about being left. My mum looked after them and she does a very good job. She loves them. But they were very upset. Poor Dita was scratching because when she's anxious she gets I don't know if she gets itchy, but she scratches more. So she was scratching. The cat refused to get off the table. And Odin was refusing to eat, but they're okay now. So, was there anything else I wanted to show? No, I think that is everything. It's not that much this week. Oh yes, no, books. Oh yeah, so like I said, I wasn't going to bring the things we water to Ireland because I want to be able to sit and enjoy this book. I don't want to be distracted and not enjoy it fully, so I'm going to get back to this week. And once I'm done with that, I am going to be reading Onyx Storm. I've heard mixed reviews about it. Some people hated it, some people didn't. I'm gonna read it and make my own decision. I've liked the other books. Like, are they the pinnacle of fantasy writing? No. Did I enjoy reading them? Absolutely. I don't know this snobbery when it comes to reading is just a bit embarrassing in my opinion. Not if you want to read classic literature, read classic literature. Don't read the more consumable literature and then complain that it's not like the best written piece of writing that was ever written. It seems a bit silly. It's like watching a superhero film and complaining it's not going to be like a Cannes Film Festival winner. They're not the same thing and they're all valid. So I'm going to read it and I'll tell you what I think. So far, Fourth Wing, loved it. Iron Flame, loved it. Really enjoyable. Like, and I think people are also a bit meaner when it comes to women that write. I don't know, like, I think that's called a romantasy. It's just a form of fantasy. I don't know, Game of Thrones has just as much, I don't know what you call it, smut, spice, whatever you want to call it, in it, as these books do. The Game of Thrones books have just as much adult content as A Court of Thorns and Roses and all of them. but it's considered much more serious literature. So I don't know why. I'm still listening to A Curse Carved in Bone. I keep getting confused because book number 1 is A Fate Inked in Blood. Book 2, A Curse Carved in Bone by Danielle L. Jensen. And I'm loving it. It was a bit of a slow start. The previous book as well was a bit slow at times, but it had enough to keep you interested and keep going, and ended up incredible, really good. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. They're a bit of a slow start, but now we're getting into like things starting to happen. Things starting to be unveiled and revealed in the story, and I was listening to it while I was getting ready to do this, and I thought, oh, I've got to stop listening to it and record my podcast because my makeup will not last forever. As you can see, I'm already getting a bit shiny. Was there anything else? Oh yeah, we finished The Last of Us season 2. Season 2 was okay, and acting wise they were all great. Bella Ramsey is a great, I don't know, because Bella Ramsey wants to be, it is a they them. I'm never sure if we call them an actress or an actor, if actor is gender neutral, actor. Incredible performance. It's not to do with the performance at all. The Ellie, you feel all of it, but it's just something missing with the way it's gone. I don't know. It also felt like not much happened for several episodes. I don't know if anyone else feels the same way about it. Feels like a lot of the season 2 could have been done in, I feel like, 2 episodes, and we could have just cracked on with the story. Maybe that's just me. And the way it ended, again, like lead up, and then just, I don't know what, like another 2-year cliffhanger. And oh, we also finished Mobland, which I really enjoyed. Didn't end so much on a cliffhanger as something a bit unexpected happened. Like the plot was tied up, but something then outside of like the main plot kind of happened, and it was like, oh, well, probably gonna be okay, hopefully. I liked Mobland. Yeah, the Irish accents by Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren were very overdone. Everyone criticises Pierce Brosnan a lot for his accent, but to me, I was just in the west coast of Ireland, and yeah, I'm not Irish. Well, my mum's Irish, so but I'm English, as you can hear. And his accent wasn't that bad. No, was it the best Irish accent? No, but he is also Irish. I don't know. Helen Mirren's though, she seems to be getting out of most of the criticism, but hers was worse than his, in my opinion. It was very overdone, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I'd recommend it. It was good. A good watch. I don't know what we're going to watch next. There's the final season of Yellowstone that we haven't seen yet, but it's been a while since we watched any of the other seasons, so we might rewatch the previous seasons and then watch Yellowstone. And there was something else I'd seen that I wanted to watch. Landman with, is it Billy Bob Thornton? I think it's Billy Bob Thornton. I want to watch that, so we might watch that as well. Maybe watch like a couple of episodes, an episode of Yellowstone, then an episode of Landman. Maybe. We're also watching Parenthood, which we're on the final season of that, and I really like it. There's not much to say about it. It's a cozy sort of show. Like, bad things happen, but it's never like, not generally that bad. Not like Mobland. Bad things happen in that. Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Irish music. My uncle showed us a DVD he has of, cause my uncle, he doesn't have the internet. He has like a very basic phone, the sort of phone that just shows you can just send a text message. I don't think you can get a photograph sent to that phone either. I think photographs don't send to it. It hasn't got that sort of screen. It is a phone that you can make phone calls on and send a text message. That's it. So he doesn't have the internet. He doesn't have any sort of streaming devices. So he only watches what's on TV, terrestrial TV, and DVDs. So he showed us a DVD of Luke Kelly, the Irish singer, which was very enjoyable. And yeah, I've been listening to a lot of more Irish music. I've been listening to the Whistling Donkeys. I like the Whistling Donkeys. They're very good. Like Grace, that's a good one, about Joseph Mary Plunkett and the Easter Rising and the terrible aftermath of that. The Town I Loved So Well, about the aftermath of what happened in Derry. Yeah, so I'll link some of the music down below, but I've been listening to that a lot. Anything else? Oh, my mouth is so dry. I always get super dry when I'm recording. Anyway, we had a good time in Ireland. We arrived on Saturday evening and came back on Wednesday evening. Our flight home was at 8:45, so we had most of the day to do stuff. We had a great time. We went and visited the cottage my mum grew up in, which is being renovated into a family home again, which is sad because it's not going to be like in our family anymore. The people who have it are family, but they are extremely distant family. We went all over the place. We went to Ballyduff where the cottage is. We went to Ballybunion and nearly got blown off the side because it was so windy. We went to Listowel most of the time we went to Listowel, which is the big town near where my uncle lives, which you might know about because it's famous for the Listowel races that they have in September, horse racing. And we went to Tralee, which is it's not a city, I don't think, but it's a big town in the area, which, I mean, it was raining the whole time we were in Ireland, basically. So we didn't do as much exploring as we might have. We would have done a lot more exploring if it wasn't raining the whole time. And if you've never been to Ireland, the west coast of Ireland, where my mother's family are from Kerry, and the rain there is powerful. It comes down. And then on the Tuesday we had to drop our brother off at the airport, so we drove him back to Shannon. And then we went to Limerick, where we thought we'd spend some day we thought we'd spend the afternoon in the city, but it was so wet. It was just bucketing it down, coming down in sheets. So we went to a shopping centre and had lunch, and then had a little mosey about to see if we could find a gift for our mum, but we couldn't. And then we skedaddled back to our uncle's and had some dinner. And then on Wednesday we just, you know, went into the town, had a look around, walked along the river. I've got some photographs I'll share on Instagram about what like we got up to. It was lovely to see him. He's his wife passed away earlier this year, so we've been trying to spend more time with him, go over to Ireland and be with him, because it feels very sad for him to be alone in his house for the first time, because they were married for all their adult lives basically. Yes, just really to support him was nice. It's nice to see him anyway. But that's probably it for now. I'm trying to keep it under the hour, which I'm actually much closer to being an hour than I thought I was. Probably all my rambling now. If I was going to edit it, I'd probably just edit all that last bit out and leave it at like 40 minutes, because I don't know how long I've been rambling for. Oh well. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you. I was sorry about being delayed about responding to the comments from last episode, but the Wi-Fi was so patchy in Ireland where we were that I couldn't respond as quickly or see the messages come up. So thank you for your comments, and sorry it took me a while to respond to them. Thank you for watching, and I will stay safe, and I'll see you again next week.